Very true.
So yeah, call me Mr. Considerate.
I and a lot of that to me, it's like you go on social media and there are a lot of women out there who are like, I want, we've talked about this before. I want a man who, with traditional, like, behaves in a
Yep.
traditional way, who opens the door for me, who is chivalrous to me. But I
Yep.
don't want all of the conservative stuff that comes with it. I want
Yeah,
someone
yeah. I
who's,
want to be able to have my TikTok. I want to be able
yep,
to do,
yep,
and really, when I need a satisfaction, and if you can't provide it, I want to be able to go get it.
yeah. And this is exactly like this guy changing his last name to her last name. Like, this is a beautiful example of, like, really what what she probably really wants is him to stand up and be like, do exactly what you were saying, be like, no,
No,
you married.
he probably encouraged it, thinking he is being chivalrous.
Yeah, but he's not.
Yeah,
He's
no,
not.
he's not.
So I
I
have
think it's
to.
great.
Yeah.
You know, somebody else is going to make her pregnant. Somebody else is going to show her what a real man is. That's
Yeah.
awesome, right? This is just natural selection,
Mhm.
and I want to say that in this case, there, it's not evolution,
Yeah.
but you know, call it the law of the jungle.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So
But
it's.
I am sensitive to his feelings, and if he
Mhm.
wants to identify as a hamster, that is one of the many genders that I do acknowledge.
Yay. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze.
So, because I'm very affirming, I have expanded my list of
You are
pronouns.
very progressive.
So progressive. I
Hmm.
brought in um, two spirit. I think that's a good one, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Um, two faced and
Excuse me.
backstabbing and hamster and COVID like
The only thing you need to bring in is clown and clown
clown
self.
clown
It's
self.
some stupid neo pronoun bullshit that's out there. I'm like,
Is it
really,
a new one?
people? I guess I don't know. There's like this whole whatever. I don't care, or I shouldn't care.
No, we don't care. Whoever
It,
wants to
it's all
identify
it's all
as
narc.
whatever. That's your
Yeah,
entertainment.
that's fine. Just don't expect me to um, go along with your delusion. Um, it's all narcissism. It all goes back to that. There's a really interesting video that Chris Rufo put out. I'll see if I can send it to you
Oh
and
yeah.
see. And basically talking about how we live in a society of people with some certain personality disorders, and it's not so much like that we live in that society. It's that we live in a society that encourages it, maybe, or creates it. So,
Yeah.
and, and that's not good. Essentially, is what they're saying, or what he
Oh,
says.
it's not good about that. Come on.
I don't know. Anyway,
Very passive population control. I think is a beautiful thing.
oh my gosh, I got a funny picture from a friend.
Oh, let me
Hold on.
see.
Oh, I'm gonna pull it up. We were just talking about distractions and phone distractions. Can you see?
Is that the her dog?
That's it. Yeah, that's my friend's dog. And do you see
Looking at the
what's
cat on
sitting?
the chair.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So so here's the funny story with that. So my friend brought her dog over to my house one day for like we had a meet and greet with my pets, and it was a get together with a bunch of friends, and she's like, I don't want to leave my dog at home, and I'm like, okay, yeah, bring her. We'll introduce the two of them, and we'll move forward. So the long story is that my dog like got really aggressive towards the other dog, to my friend's dog, and I had to zap my dog with the shot collar, and
Oh, nice.
that freaked her out. Because that Yeah, but what it ended up doing was my dog then studiously ignored my friend's dog for the rest of the evening, which
Oh,
was
nice.
perfect. It was
Yeah.
perfect. It's like, that's good behavior. I think I think that is appropriate behavior.
That's appropriate behavior after inappropriate behavior.
Yes. Yep. So she learned, and that was it.
Yeah.
However, what ended up happening is my friend's dog was enamored with my cat. Like, just would not leave my cat alone at all. Let me see if I can pull up the yeah.
Like, it was love at first sight or what?
I mean, you could say that. So there's my friend's dog and my cat.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Just following her all around.
Wherever my cat went, my friend's
Uh-huh.
dog went.
Yeah,
And my
not
cat,
aggressive by the looks of it.
no, just curious. And my cat was so annoyed that whole evening. And like he's like, I don't like this. This is not good. Um, and I'm like, you know what, dude? Sorry. You have to deal with it.
You gotta
Because
deal with it. Yeah, it's
yeah,
not biting, it's not growling.
yep.
It just wants to
It's
hang
just
out.
yeah, that's exactly it. She just wanted to hang out. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Sure, trying to be friendly.
Yep.
Why
So
don't you do you socialize your animals, boss? Like, 2
uh
antisocial creatures?
my
You need to
cat
take your cat to the dog park.
taking cats like socializing cats is a weird thing. So he's social, like he loves people. He loves being around people.
Oh, good.
He's
That's a good job.
skittish around other animals, which is
Natural.
understandable.
Yeah.
My dog is it's difficult with her. She was doing really well around other dogs for a long time, and then um, she was at a doggy daycare, and something snapped in her, and she got very aggressive towards other dogs.
Hmm.
So they don't let her around other dogs because they don't know what's going to happen because she's just so big.
Yeah, she's big.
Um, and then the other aspect of it is she's very protective of me. So when
Mhm.
I'm walking her and I take her around other dogs, she gets like she gets aggressive towards them as well.
Yep.
So it's hard for me to take her to a dog park to play.
Yeah, there's some training you gotta do for this one.
You know, so
She
I've
doesn't
been
need to feel like she's protecting you. You're a badass.
yeah. So I've been spending the last like year working with her on it, like doing. So I have a shock collar and I have treats. So I've been doing the punish reward system with her
Nice.
around other dogs.
I am
And
such a fan of zapping people. I
dude,
mean,
like it is it. I know a lot of people don't like using shock collars on dogs and stuff, but I tell you, it is the best reward or the best way to train them. Because what you see when you put animals in or dogs in packs, what you see is when they're puppies, they learn what's right and wrong via punish and reward. So like they start annoying another dog, and that other dog doesn't like what they're doing. That other dog is going to snap at that puppy, which is a
yep,
punishment, which is what should happen. So the dog then learns, oh, when I did this, I got snapped. I
yep,
should not do this. But then they get rewarded by play when they do the good behavior. So like, oh, I got this good behavior, or I got to do this when I did this. So that's why, like, in my opinion, like you should when you are training your dog, you should be doing the same thing because that is how they learn, and that is very important. So,
yeah, yeah. I think it's brilliant, and I'm sure she's not being zapped hard.
dude, it doesn't take much with her. It is like I have it on like one of the lowest setting, and I buzz her, and she's like, her eyes go. She's so freaked out by it
It's just a
that
surprise.
yeah, she's terrified when it happens.
Nice.
And I'm like, yeah, and the thing, and I know like people would be like, oh my gosh, you're scaring your dog. You shouldn't. And I was like, no, that's the behavior that I want. I want her to be like, I want her to know that if something bad, like if she starts doing something bad, that she's going to get a zap because I
Yeah,
want her to understand that she cannot do the behavior, like the bad behavior, because the bad behavior escalates and then I have to put her down. And I
right.
don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that. Well, also she has to understand her role in the relationship, right?
Yes.
Is she a guard dog or is she your pet?
Yes.
Right.
Like, and that's big. So,
Yep. Yep. That role questionability. I think a lot of people like don't they want that guard dog, but they also want it to behave like a a house kitten.
yeah. And then they don't understand that once you train a guard dog, that's what they know.
Yeah, that's what they know, right? And that's what that's what you should expect, right?
Yep.
You if you have the creature to keep the family safe at all
Yep.
costs, great.
And you know what? That's what you want too. Like if that's what you're training your dog to be, and they behave that way, and then you tell them not to do that, they're gonna get confused.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if you haven't trained them to when to start and when to stop.
Yep. And exactly what you said. That's a huge one. Like you need to tell them what to do, like when to be there, and when not to do that.
Yeah, yeah. You
Yep.
think consider it like a automated machine gun.
Yep. Exactly.
You know, you got to program it when not to eat something and when to.
Do not eat the cat.
Right? Don't eat the cat. Don't eat cute little kids. The rabbits you can have.
Yeah, please take the rabbit. I don't want a rabbit. Rabbits are anyway. I've seen hilarious videos where like dogs like they love the cats, and then I've seen them where like they put the cat in their mouth and they just hold the cat in their mouth, and it's
Just
hilarious.
hanging it
Yeah,
out.
and the cat's just like got this annoyed look on its face, like I cannot believe I have to suffer through this indignity.
Yeah,
This
right.
is,
Again.
and that's exactly it. And the dog's like all happy, like, "Hey, this is
Yeah.
fun."
Right, right. It's like I saw the mother do this when it was a baby kitten.
Yep, yep. And the cat's like, "Oh my god, go
It's like
away."
I'm 23 years old now. Leave me alone.
That's exactly it. That is
Yeah, yeah,
exactly
yeah.
it.
Cats are.
It's
Yeah.
hilarious. So I do want to. I want to share this funny story with you before we get going because I need to get going soon. You were talking about parking lot stuff
Uh huh.
and people being in the parking lot. So I don't know if you've ever known anybody who has worked in the video game industry, but
No,
it is a vicious industry.
I know
Like,
that much about it.
oh my gosh,
People are
it
like, I
is.
want to get into doing developing video games. I'm like, really? I'm like, why do you want to get slave labor rates for slave labor and zero appreciation?
Yep. If
Like,
you want
isn't
to
there better ways to starve your family?
if you want to there's these really two good books that I recommend to anybody who is interested in learning about the video game industry. One is called Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. Um, it's written by a guy named Jason Schreier. Okay, uh, and it talks about some really good. It talks about how some video games were made and how well they performed and what happened, like why some did extremely
Oh,
well
that
and
sounds
why
great.
some failed.
Yep.
It is absolutely a wonderful book. I love it. I
Speaking of,
love.
I went through Hooked.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and
good one.
I'm glad I did.
Okay.
The It kind of points out why there's so many things in this book that I kind of don't like,
Oh yeah.
right? And because it's essentially it really is a sequel to that
Mm-hmm.
book, and a lot of the stuff he references and kind of like tries to make up for
Yeah.
is essentially what this book is about. So I think
Do you want to
I had fun with it.
do you want
Yeah.
to go and read that one next?
Yeah, maybe we should.
Okay.
Maybe we should actually. That way we kind of balance out this book
Yeah.
in a way that's going to leave a little better taste in my mouth from the author,
Sounds good.
right? Because I'm a little hard on him in this book.
I agree with you on that. Like, because I read through some of it, and it's like, yeah, these are things that I've known about before in the past, and things I've done, and this is what we should be doing. Um, and like I said last time, I do feel like this book is one that probably should have been a series of blog posts and not as much about,
Yeah,
not like a full blown book.
yeah, like totally. He wrote a book by taking some popular blog posts, I'm guessing,
Yeah,
and that's the only thing I can think of because of the way it flows.
yeah,
And he also wanted to kind of like clean up some karma
yeah.
from his other book, and not even karma, right? Because he didn't write anything bad, right? But
Sure.
to justify himself that he's a good
Yes.
person.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay. To finish out what I'm saying. Sorry, dude.
No, no, yeah, I shut you up
um,
enough. Keep going.
Jason Schreier. So he wrote Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. Absolutely wonderful book. And then he wrote another book called Press Reset. Another one, absolutely wonderful book about the video game industry and the amount of burnout that happens and the amount of turnover that happens in at video game development stuff. The only problem with that book that I don't like is the conclusion that he came to at the end. I think is the wrong conclusion. I think, and the reason why I say that is because it's the typical liberal idea of liberal view and that of someone. Basically, at the end, he says, "Oh, the video game industry should have a union," and I'm like, says the guy who actually hasn't ever really worked in a union or around unions. Unions are terrible in this day and age. So anyway,
Yeah, I'm not a fan of unions, right? Like
right?
I liked how they started off, right? I think there's value
Yep,
in their day.
yep.
Uh,
And I think even in
and
today's, go ahead.
yeah, if there's a case where people really being taken advantage of,
Yeah,
it makes sense. But who
yeah.
doesn't have a voice or a newspaper nowadays?
Right, exactly. Exactly. Um and so like to me or so his conclusion is just not right. Um and then so what but like that's the video game industry is just absolutely cutthroat. It's horrendous. And I've known several people who have worked in it. And one of my friends told me the story at one point where he was working at a video game company. And he comes in to work one day and he starts working, and the owners of the company come in to and tell everybody, hey, get up. We're going to go have a company meeting outside in the parking lot. We're going to have everybody do it. And they like, they're all like kind of, they get everybody to come out. So everybody gathers out in the parking lot, stands out, and what they end up doing is going and locking all of the doors to the building so nobody can get back in.
First thing I thought when you said this, I'm like, everybody's getting fired.
And the guy turns around and says, y'all are fired, go home, come back tomorrow to pick up your things. They shut down the
This
entire
had to be
company.
against the law.
I have no idea, but it
Yep.
happened.
This is
And
basically theft of personal property on this
it,
case, and I can imagine they just got their crap sued out of.
I have no idea what happened beyond that. I just know that's what they did, and the entire company the next day came in to pick up all of their personal stuff, and that was it.
So, yep, somebody bought them out, said, don't touch anything.
Yeah,
And I'm curious what the background story, but the second thing comes to mind is, yeah, somebody bought them out and said, we got your tech, don't touch anything, your staff isn't worth it.
it was insane. It's an insane story.
Oh
So,
yeah, but it's like
but that's
game development generally is such a sweatshop. 80% of it out there It is
Yeah.
not the innovative, beautiful stuff you see. 80% of it, as far as I know, 80% of it is copy this game, do it quick, do it cheap, and that's all you do.
Yeah.
There's this game, copy it, make it, go.
Yeah. It's true.